And now for a Faithbridge Kids Ministry presentation of Superstars of the Bible. Each week we'll be looking at awesome, amazing, true stories from the Bible where God used ordinary people just like you and me to do amazing things. Each of these superstars is a part of God's big story, and every one of their stories leads to the biggest superstar of all, Jesus. So, who will our first superstar of the Bible be today? Stay tuned to find out.
No, wait. Whoa, what are you doing, Ninja Rob? It's an egg you're about to eat. That could make you sick.
I'm trying to grow some muscles here,
Oh.
okay? I got, all my friends are way cooler than me, and, I'm not good enough, but if I grow big muscles, then everyone else will like me. And of course, I can do anything I want to do. I can be football player, everyone's gonna be like, want to be my friend. Maybe I'll grow some hair and get even cooler clothes. But I'll be ready, Greg.
Okay.
I will be ready.
Yeah, well, sounds like a lot of work to be just a little bit cooler.
Yeah, but it'll be worth it in the end. You see, when you're cooler, people will probably listen to you. And then if they listen to you, you can do even cooler things like tell people about Jesus,
That sounds good. That sounds good. Oh man, well I think you have a couple things mixed up. See, God doesn't need us to be cool to tell people about him. He doesn't need us to be stronger or smarter or be more popular. See, he's able to use us just the way that we are.
Yeah, I think it's easier if I'm just cooler.
Okay, well Ninja Rob, have you ever heard the story of David and Goliath?
Of course, everyone's heard that story.
Good. Yeah. Well, you know what happens in it?
Yeah. That story is about big bad Goliath and how David took him down with just a few rocks, like these.
Oh, okay. Well, not exactly. What the story is really about is God's mighty power. Listen up and see what God does in David's life.
We're not too young and we're not second best. Everybody join me in praising the King and singing whoa, sing whoa, oh, oh. Whoa. Got the time, got the place. Whoa. We're gonna lift up our praise, and together we'll sing. Whoa. Shout out to the King. Hey, da da da. Hey, da da da. Be out in the jungle or the deep blue sea, in the great wild wind, come on and sing with me. All over the world we're gonna praise the King and sing whoa. If you're young or old, you can stand up strong, you can sing out loud, you can sing this song. Everybody join me in praising the King and singing whoa. Sing whoa, oh, oh. Whoa. Got the time, got the place. Whoa. We're gonna lift up our praise, and together we'll sing. Whoa. Shout out to the King. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa. And together we'll sing. Whoa. Shout out to the King. Hey, da da da. Hey, da da da. Hey, da da da. Hey, da da da.
Let me reintroduce you to our Bible VIP. This guy was awesome. He'll eventually go on to become king. He would do so many big and cool things. But he didn't start out that way. Whenever God first chose him to be the next king, he was still just a shepherd. I'm talking about King David. That's right, the great King David, we know, who did so many cool things, started out as a shepherd. Now let's back up just a little bit. At this time in our story, there were two armies fighting each other. One was the Israelite army, God's chosen people. They were on one side of the valley on the top of a hill, and on the other side of the valley on a different hill was the Philistine army. Both armies were waiting for the other side to attack first so they could have the advantage. The Philistine army eventually sent out this huge guy, a giant if you will, to try and scare the Israelite army. He stood in front of them and shouted, "Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he's able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us." After hearing this, Saul, the leader of the Israelite army and king at the time, and the rest of the army were really scared and dismayed. This was a really big and scary guy. Not only did he come out and shout at this army, but he did it for 40 days. 40 days he would come out and take this same stand. This giant's name was Goliath. Now let's get back to David. At this time, he was going back and forth and helping Saul and being a shepherd to his dad's sheep. One day, his dad told him he was going to take food to his brothers who were in the Israelite army. So he did as his father had asked him. When he got there, he headed out to the battle lines to see how they were doing. That's when he heard Goliath shouting his battle cry. The Israelites were still so scared of him, and David was shocked. He said, "Who is this Philistine that should defy the armies of the living God?" David was pretty much saying, "Who does this guy think he is? He is defying an army of God. I mean, he may be big, but God is so much bigger." Eventually, word that David was saying these things got back to King Saul. David told Saul not to worry and that he would fight the Philistine giant. Now let me back up one more time. Remember how David was just a shepherd? He was also the youngest of his brothers and was kind of small and not trained for battle, or so everyone thought. But David told Saul, "Listen, it is my job as a shepherd to keep the sheep safe. When a lion or a bear comes near them, I go after it, strike it, and take my sheep back safe to its home. This giant will be just like one of those lions or bears because he is defying the armies of the living God." Then he said, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of the Philistine." David didn't even want any armor or extra weapons. Instead, he took his shepherd's staff and 5 stones from the stream. That's it. Then he went up to Goliath, who couldn't believe David was his challenger. But David said to him, "You come against me with your sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of armies of Israel, whom you have defied." David knew he was going to win because God was on his side. Then as Goliath ran toward him, David slung a stone toward Goliath and he hit him right in the middle of his forehead. The stone sank into his head and he fell face down on the ground. Because of God's power in him, David had defeated Goliath. Here's the thing about Goliath. He may have been really big and really tall and really strong, but he really didn't have a God on his side. When he was going up against David, Goliath was also going up against God. And God was way, 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 way bigger and stronger. David wasn't the tallest or the strongest or the best warrior. And God didn't change him at all. But God had equipped him. And when Saul offered armor and swords to help him, he refused to use it. And since David was a shepherd, he was used to coming things to attack his sheep. He had really good aim with his staff and rock. And most importantly, he had God on his side. David used the abilities God gave him to face the giant and win. David knew that God was with him always.
You see, Rob, God didn't change David so that he could defeat Goliath. He had already made him the perfect person to defeat Goliath. He didn't need him to do all these extra things to equip himself because he was already perfectly equipped. The same is true for you. And you don't need to be stronger or have better hair or better clothes to tell people about Jesus. God can and will use you the way he's already made you.
My God When David heard Goliath's challenge, his brother Eliab discouraged him. He said, "What are you doing here? Go back to your sheep." And it was true. David was a young shepherd. He had never used weapons of war, and he definitely wasn't a trained soldier. What chance did David stand against the mightiest warrior in the Philistine army? But David showed that when we trust God for strength, age and size don't matter at all. And that's the same for you. You're not too young to love and follow Jesus, our shepherd, who loves us and cares for us. So I want you to think about that this week. What are some things that you can do for God right now?
The Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams. He renews my strength. He guides me along right paths, bringing honor to his name. Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid. For you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect me and comfort me. You prepare a feast for me in the presence of my enemies. You honor me by anointing my head with oil. My cup overflows with blessings. Surely your goodness and unfailing love will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever.
something good. Through the darkest night, you are on my side. You were always faithful. Through my fear and doubt, you will lead me out. You were always able. Through the darkest night, you are on my side. You were always faithful. Through my fear and doubt, you will lead me out. I know that you are always up to something good. I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way, whatever it takes. There's nothing your love won't endure. I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way, whatever it takes. There's nothing your love won't endure. I know that you are always up to something good.
In order to defeat Goliath, all David used was his sling and a rock, and of course God was on his side. That got me to thinking, we could have a little bit of fun and make a slingshot of our own. Before we make this, I want you guys to remember that Goliath was a bad guy, and that's why David had to fight him. But we don't want to hurt anybody that we love. That means our moms, our dads, our grandparents, siblings, friends, and whoever else might be at your house. If you're playing with your slingshot, only use something soft, like a marshmallow or a piece of paper, and never fling something at someone. We don't want to hurt anybody. Okay, now that we have that established, let's make our slingshot. All you're gonna need for this craft is 6 popsicle sticks, some rubber bands, a spoon, and marshmallows or a piece of paper or whatever you might want to launch. The first thing we're gonna do is take 4 of our popsicle sticks and stack them right on top of each other. Once you have that done, we get our first rubber band and we're gonna secure the end of these 4 sticks. This can be a little bit tricky, so if you need help, just ask a grown-up. After you get that rubber band on, we're gonna flip it around and do the same thing to the other side. It should look like this when you're done. Now, the next step is to get these last 2 popsicle sticks and put one on top of and one underneath your stack of 4 to make an X. It should look like this. What we're gonna do now is take another rubber band and we're gonna secure it around the middle of the popsicle sticks. Again, this can be a little bit tricky, so grab a grown-up and they'll help you with it. Once you get it on one side, we're gonna flip it around and do the same thing to the other side. It's a little tight in the middle. Okay, once you have this done, it should be in the shape of a cross, and if you look at it from the side, you should be able to see through the 2 sticks that are on top of the stack of 4. What you're gonna do now is take your last rubber band, pinch one side of these 2 sticks, and secure them with that rubber band. And this is a really big rubber band. Great. Now you can see that we have our catapult almost ready to go. The last step is to take your spoon and you're gonna slide it through these crossed rubber bands in the middle of your catapult. Great, we're ready to go. What you're gonna do is take something soft, I'm gonna use marshmallows, place it on top of the spoon, take your finger, pull the spoon back, and let it go. Wow. Now if you really wanna have fun, you can draw a picture, maybe of a giant or like Goliath on a cup, set it away, bring your catapult over here, and try to shoot your marshmallows into the cup. Oh, I missed. Not quite enough. Oh, Good thing David was a better shot than I am. Okay guys, remember, don't fling anything at a real person. We don't want to hurt anyone that we love. But use your catapult, get some marshmallows, and have some fun.
Hey, what are you doing in here?
I'm using my catapult to hit Goliath.
Okay.
How many did I get?
Not any. You're missing them all.
What? I don't know. I'm getting them pretty close. Look.
No, you have terrible aim. What are you doing?
I'm just trying to be like David.
Well, maybe you need to adjust your catapult. Move it back just a little bit like this.
Okay.
No good. Not even one. You just need to be like you. You can't be like David.
Wasn't today great? I mean, it was cool how David defeated Goliath, but you want to know what my favorite part is?
Yeah, go ahead and tell me.
Well, I like how David was so close to God that he spent time with God. And that's how he defeated Goliath.
Oh, why don't we make our own praise to God? We can call it a God cheer. What do you think?
I like it. Big G, little O, go God!
Wow, that was awesome. Let's do it together. Ready?
Big G, little O, go God! Praising God is the best!
Oh man, it's so much fun. You see, David, he trusted God, and we can too. He guides us in the way we should go, and he uses us just the way that we are. Have a great week, everybody.